Hey everybody, Happy New Year, welcome to 2019. I just want to say hi and drop a short update on this feed to let you know what I've been up to since the podcast concluded last summer. So first of all, as many of you already know, I just launched my next podcast project, the Water Margin Podcast, where we are essentially doing the same thing we did on this podcast, but with the novel, The Water Margin, which is also referred to as Outlaws of the Marsh. So if you haven't yet, go check out that new podcast at outlawsofthemarsh.com. It's also already on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and the other major podcast platforms, so go check it out. Before I got all wrapped up in launching that podcast, I spent the past 6 months or so ensuring that my work on the Three Kingdoms podcast will survive should something calamitous happen to this website. Not that I'm planning on anything happening to it. One of the things I've done is to upload all the audio files to the Internet Archive, which is about as permanent as something on the internet can be. I have included a link to that collection with the notes for this update on the website. Go check it out there if you want. You'll notice that the order of the files are kind of scrambled right now. Reordering things on the Internet Archive is apparently a huge pain, so I was only able to make partial progress on that before having to shift my attention to the Water Margin podcast. I might get back to it at a later date, but right now, it's about as good as it's gonna get. Another thing I've been doing is going back and re-recording some of the earlier episodes of the Three Kingdoms podcast to improve their quality. I've done this for just the first 3 episodes so far, and I have a couple more recorded that I have yet to edit, but my plan is to do 1 or 2 here and there going forward. Of course, now that I'm immersed in producing the Water Margin podcast, that work will be pretty sporadic and slow going. Finally, I want to mention a neat little discovery I made. Last spring, somebody at the Phoebe A. Hearst Museum of Anthropology at Berkeley reached out to me. They have in their collections a set of 5 marble panels that were carved sometime in the mid-1700s. They came from an old Buddhist temple in Shanxi province in China. The carvings depicted various scenes from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and the museum was looking to compile more information about those scenes so that it would be available for any researchers who might be interested. I was, of course, happy to contribute, so I sent them some information about each of the scenes. These panels are on public display at the museum. The museum is closed right now while they install a new exhibit, but I'm told that they will be reopening in March. So if you're in the Berkeley area, consider dropping by there to go check out these panels. They seem pretty neat. I have included a link to pictures of the panels in the show notes. Alright, so that's about it for this update. Again, make sure to check out the Water Margin podcast at outlawsofthemarsh.com. That show's on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and pretty much wherever you get podcasts. So subscribe to it, listen to it, rate it, review it, and send me comments to let me know what you think. Thanks, as always, for your continuing support of these projects. And Happy New Year. See ya.